I've been sitting here debating whether I should do this podcast at all, or if I should the chess background, or do it like I am right now, just laying here in bed, up against about 20 pillows, my little doggy by my side, and thoughts running through my mind. Um, the idea that came to me as far as tonight is suddenly single and finding my family. It's been just an amazing holiday season. Um, there have been times when I've felt lonely or sad, but most of the time it's been kind of exciting and anticipation of seeing my family for the first time, just me and my daughter and her husband and their two boys. And we said our two boys, our two grandsons. And why it's unique, obviously, is because for the last 46 years we've lived together as a family. And then when Lauren met Sam and got married and established her own family, we visited, but we always stayed in a hotel. So these last several years, we've visited and stayed for maybe a couple days, but stayed in a hotel and would just go over to the house and visit for whatever the occasion might be. Thanksgiving and Christmas being the main ones, and sometimes Easter. So all that being said, this time Lauren not only invited me, but really encouraged me to come and stay with them. And I could have my own room, my own little suite, as they said. So I did have a lot of privacy. I had Zeke with me, and they have two rambunctious dogs, two golden doodles, Holly and Cassie. And after a while of adjustment, they all get along great. So what's this story about? Well, I was there for Thanksgiving. We had a wonderful Thanksgiving. I was there for Christmas. And instead of coming over mid-morning, I was there in the morning when the kids woke up, came down all excited, discovering the tree, opening the presents. It was truly a different experience. And it was a great experience. And now this time I came back for Wes's birthday, because all of their birthdays all their birthdays are around holidays. So what we did was we would kind of blend them or whatever, or at least Tess and I would blend them, giving them their gift either on Thanksgiving or New Year's, Christmas. Anyway, I went for Wes's birthday. And why this is noteworthy is because I was excited about it, but I had no idea that he was excited about it. It just didn't occur to me that he would be excited to have his Papa Peter being there at his birthday. And that's why it's so amazing to me, because I'm truly meeting my family in some ways for the first time. On Saturday, I went to Nolan's football game. He's 12 years old. He's playing Little League football, we'll call it. And he's the quarterback, and they have their way of playing. It's not tackle, it's touch. And so it's, not as brutal as football, but still it's a sport, it's a game, and it's tough. The parents get into it. It's pretty much like I remember when I was the parent, taking Eric to the baseball games. Little League baseball gets pretty intense. So it was a lot like that, but it was football. But anyway, Nolan was just thrilled. He was happy to see me there. And it was just a really nice feeling. I mean, I was there taking pictures or videos and so forth, as I usually do. But I didn't get much because it's hard to keep up from the distance we were. But my point is, he really appreciated me being there. And now I realize not only how much I missed, but in some ways how much we missed being together for these little events through all these years. So with Wes, he turned 10 years old, which, they're getting to be big kids. They're not little babies anymore. They're pretty big kids. And Wes is very into mechanics and into robotics and into electronics. And I bought him the gift that Lauren suggested for Christmas, and he loved it. It was an electronics set, and he was immediately doing the experiments and having a great time doing them and showing them to me and, explaining how they worked and so forth. And then I gave the chess set to Nolan, and we got a chance to play a few games, and he was very good. It was amazing how good he was. So I kind of went from being the teacher to almost being the student. But anyway, getting back to just this weekend with Wes's birthday, we did his birthday celebration in the morning, and Lauren just goes, well, to me, she goes all out. I know these days kids' birthdays can be ridiculous, but she puts up decorations, and she has the cake, and she has the gifts all wrapped and lined up and everything. Anyway, he opened up the bank that I had given him, basically recommended by Lauren, and he loved it. His immediate reaction was, "Oh, I saw this on Amazon. I was looking at this. I wanted this bank." And oh, he was just excited. It was great. And in the meantime, his other grandparents had given him a bag full of coins. I mean, like this incredible treasure chest of coins, from pennies, nickels, dimes, quarters to $50 and foreign money. So here he could put this money in his bank, and we're just off to a great start. Now, then ultimately, part of his gift was to go shopping, and it came up to this kind of heads I win, tails I lose, or whatever. It was a matter of who do I stay with, because Nolan wanted to stay home. And I thought, well, okay, you guys go shopping and do your thing. I'll stay with Nolan and watch the football game. And so that's pretty much what we did. But it was early, so we played a couple games of chess. Now, here's my little true confession here. I really played chess against him. I wasn't brutal or anything, but I just, I made my moves and so forth, and I kind of gave him some instruction. He had actually told me, "Please, Papa, you don't have to tell me, about the moves. I get it." He said, he asked me, "Do you see my plan? Do you get my plan?" And anyway, bottom line was, this time I didn't, patronize him in any way. We played, and it turned out that I did win. And I thought, okay, so we'll play again. And sure enough, we played again, and I won again. And now I really felt bad about it, because I didn't want to discourage him. But anyway, bottom line was, he said, "Well, I've had enough chess for today." But we moved on to doing a few other things. I showed him a picture of his mama when she was only 5 or 6 years old, lighting the candles for Christmas. And we talked about that a little bit, about, how his mom was a child just like you. And then now she's all grown up, and someday you'll be all grown up. And, these are special times. Well, there was a story, and I forgot it now. I'm thinking of it. Okay. When Lauren was a baby, and I mean a baby, like, less than 2 years old, and I was rocking her on my lap or whatever, like normal, rocking a baby. But she apparently grabbed a dime, speaking of the coins, and I think that's how it came up at dinner. We were talking about how easy it is to choke on food or whatever. And I said, well, yeah, this happened with May and Lauren, where she got a hold of this dime, and within an instant, she had it in her throat, had it in her mouth, had it in her throat. And I could see that she was struggling, gagging a little bit. And I was like, oh my God. So I turned her over real quick. I turned her over, and I popped her on the back. Boom, boom, boom. And, she's just literally a baby, but it came out. Thank God it just came out. And so the dime came out of her mouth, and it was over. So in an instant, what was kind of an immediate crisis or whatever turned into, what else is new? So whatever I was reading or whatever we were doing, I went on with it. But I was becoming aware, you might say, as a parent, a fairly new parent, how quick these little babies can be, and how the most common thing around you can become a hazard. So I saved your mama's life. Nolan sat there, and he said, well, Papa Peter, you saved 3 lives. I was like, what? He said, well, you saved 3 lives, because you saved my life and Wes's life too. I mean, when he said that, I had never thought of it that way. I had never really thought about it too much, except, it was one of these things that happened. But when he put that together like that and said, you saved 3 lives, boy, that made me think. that made me think, oh my God, I've said this before, one thing leads to another, but yet and still, it just kind of didn't, that domino effect of having that happen. And yes, I saved her life. I'm not being a hero. It was just a very easy thing to do. But had I not done it, you don't know what would have happened. And so there's other incidences in a kid's life where that happens. But my point being that my son, my grandson, 12 years old, said, "You saved 3 lives." It just really struck me. Really, really struck me. So that was, and who knows? That conversation may never have happened, let alone having that insight and having that moment. So that was a very special moment of the weekend. And then the other thing I just want to mention was with little Wes, he went off shopping with his parents, but before he left, because then okay, we need to say goodbye because Papa Peter's going to leave and he'll be driving home, because I wanted to get home before dark, and I didn't know how long they'd be shopping. Anyway, Wes disappeared. He came back and he gave me an envelope addressed to Papa Peter. A little red envelope. I opened it up. It's a thank you card. It says, "Thank you for being at my birthday." Oh my God. Thank you, Papa Peter, for being at my birthday. It kills me. I just didn't realize how much it would mean to him that I would be there. I figure, well, he's a kid, he's got his friends, he's got his parents, he's got his brother, he's got his, other relatives. I just did not see myself as being very significant in their lives. And now I'm realizing all these years where Tess and I would visit, yeah, we were great grandparents. Tess, and that's the other thing, I've thought about this as well. If it wasn't for Tess, I wouldn't have this family. All of this is because we met and fell in love and had our baby Lauren. It's all because of that. But yet and still, because Tess, was very private and, needed her space and didn't want to stay with the kids, didn't want to impose, we stayed in a hotel. We'd found ourselves, a nice place to stay. And over the years, we stayed in different hotels, dog-friendly hotels. But this time I stayed in a dog-friendly, daughter's home. And it was just different. It was different and better. And there were moments when I felt awkward. There were moments when I felt a little out of place. But most of the time, it was just being home with family. And that's why I'm saying I'm single, but yet I'm kind of finding my family at this stage in my life. And Sam is a great guy, a great husband, a great father. He's just all around great. And I'm so thrilled and lucky that we have this, because you just never know how your kids are gonna, who they're gonna meet, who they might fall in love with, and this, that, the other thing. And it ain't over yet, but the point is, right now, I couldn't ask for a more idyllic family situation, except to have Tess here with me. We can't do that. So it's good that we're able to kind of rediscover each other in this new life that we're creating. Anyway, that's it for tonight. And if anybody listens to this, if I put it out there, I hope your family works together as well, and that you discover each other in different phases as time goes on. You'll be amazed, I think, to find new ways of understanding each other and learning about each other and loving each other. All right, so see you later. Until next time.